What's up guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today I'm going to be teaching you JavaScript operators. And so the first operator I'm going to be talking about will be our plus sign. And so what we're going to do is we're going to create two variables. So let's start by creating our first one. And these two variables are going to be numbers. And it doesn't matter what number you pick, but it's just going to be two different numbers, or it could be the same one. And I'm going to create two variables. So it's going to be x and y. So the second one's going to be y. And I'm going to set this one to, let's do 8. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to just console log it. And you can just type in log. And then when you hit enter, then you can see that, well, we just have this console log. And it's pretty nice shortcut, so use it if you want to. And what we're going to do now is we're going to just type in x plus y. And so what it's going to do is it's going to add these two variables because they're numbers, and if they weren't numbers then it wouldn't do that. Alright, and so let's open this with Live Server, open our developer console, and you can see that we got 13, which is going to be the right answer. And so let's see what happens now when we change both of our variables from a number to a string. And the way we do that is by adding quotation marks before and after our number. And so here's a quick, shortcut you could do. So you just hover over your number, hold shift, and then the quotation mark, and you can see that it added them before and after. But basically what we did now is, as you can see, we've changed our variable from a number type to a string. And what it's going to do now is, instead of actually adding them like in math, so 5 plus 8 equals to 13, what it's going to do is just add 5 and 8 together, and it's not going to be like math. So let's take a look what happened. So there we go. So as you can see now, we have printed 58, and that's because it doesn't do math when it's strings. And that's because, well, it doesn't really know that it's a number, because you can use text here too. So you could do hello here. And also for numbers, you obviously can't use letters. So if it's something like this, you can see that it wouldn't work. So let's actually do it. And you can see that we have an error because it's not defined. And that's because it's a number. And if we actually add quotation marks, then you can see that the error goes away and it just adds these two together. And also, quick notes, if you wanted to, you have two words together and you wanted to add space, what you could do is, after the plus, add quotation marks, and inside of them, you would just hit space, and that would add the space. And then after, you have to add the plus, and so now we have added space between both of our words. And so what would happen if we added a number and a string together? Well, let's see what happens. So let's say our x was, I don't know, 5. And so our y is going to be world. Now I'm going to actually just remove this. And now let's see what happens. So now we go here. And as you can see, it's basically just changed our 5 into a string. And, well, it just added these two together. And, well, it obviously can't do 5 plus our word here. So it just, well, added these two together. And so when we have two numbers, what it's going to do is add them. So like in math, so let's say we did 85 plus 67, right? We go back, you can see that we get a number, and that's going to be the sum of both of our numbers here. And when we have strings, it's just going to add these two together, and that's the difference between a string and an int when you use the plus operator or any other. And so the next variable I'm going to be talking about is going to be the minus. And remember when I said that strings don't know when they have a number inside them? Well, I did lie, because they do know, and you'll see that in a second. So let's see what happens when we do this. And if you're smart enough, you should already know, well, what the answer is, but you can see it says 18 or negative 18. And if you haven't realized it yet, what it did is it subtracted 85 from 67, and we ended up with a negative number. And if you want to flip that, what you would do is just do y minus x, because it's the bigger number. And when we go back, you can see that we have 18. And now, what happens when I change both of our variables from number to string? Well, let's take a look. So this is the part where I said that I lied, and let's see what happens now. So I'm going to go back here, and you can see that I'm going to keep reloading, and even if I go back, you can see that I haven't changed anything. And so it's still, no, well, it knows that it's a number, so what it's going to do is it's just going to do the, um, well, it's going to do our 610, or sorry, it's going to do 85 minus 67 because we have a number here. But if we add a letter, so let's add a here, then you can see that we get nan. And if you take a look here, you can see that nan basically means what. So we just made, well, we just confused our JavaScript here. So that's what happens when you do, well, when you subtract, I guess, letters from letters. So we can do something like this, and you can see that we would get the same thing because it doesn't work. So keep that in mind. And we're gonna keep going up. So I'm gonna go over multiplying now. And multiplying in coding or programming would be our star sign. And if you don't know how to use it, what you would do is hold shift and then press on 8. And this would be multiplying. And let's change this back to our numbers, or I'm just going to pick different numbers. I'm going to make it something very simple. So let's do 5 times 2. And now it's going to do 2 times 5, but it's going to be the same answer. So let's take a look. And you can see that we have 10. And so you can use this as a calculator if you really want to. So let's see, we have to do like a very big number. So let's do something like this times this much. You can see that we have an answer, and it's going to be correct. And so what happens when we change this back to a string? Let's see. So I'm going to change both of our variables to a string like this, and let's see. You can see that it still works. So it's going to be the same case with our negative or minus operator, and when we add a letter, then you can see that we get our nan. And same thing goes for dividing. So if we do this, we're going to do 6 divided by 5. I'm going to change this back to a, whoops, I'm going to change this back to a number, and let's see what happens. You can see we get 1.2. Let's do something actually like this. So I'm going to flip these two. So x divided by y, and you can see that we have 2. And when we change this back to a string, we can see that it still works perfectly fine. So same goes for dividing. And when we add letters, then we get our nan. And so these are going to be basic, operators that we can use, and they're very useful when you get more advanced. So try to remember as much as you can here. And yeah, so this is going to be for this video. And if you guys have any questions on this topic, then leave a comment down below, and I'll do my best to answer it. Leave a like if you like this video, subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and see you in the next video.